Good evening, everyone. We'll begin this evening with a public hearing on the North Beach zoning ordinance and zoning map. At the conclusion of the public hearing, we'll move right on into our regularly scheduled meeting. We're going to be absent two council members tonight. Neal and Wilcox are unable to attend the meeting tonight. The purpose of this hearing is to gather comments on the proposed North Beach zoning ordinance and zoning map. The land use article of the annotated code of Maryland authorizes the North Beach Planning Commission to recommend a zoning ordinance to the North Beach Town Council. The land use article of the annotated code of Maryland gives the North Beach Town Council the authority to adopt the zoning ordinance. The proposed North Beach zoning ordinance and zoning map would replace the zoning ordinance and zoning map last adopted, which was in January of 2005. In just a second, I'm going to turn the public hearing over to the chairman of the Planning Commission, Michael Hartman. But I'd like to let everyone know that at the conclusion of the hearing, that we're going to keep the record open for another month for public comment. Although there has not been a great deal been offered so far, I'm told by our clerk that hard copies of the zoning ordinance as well as digital version has been online for several months now, and at this point we've not generated any public interest. But the public, for those of you who are here and want to comment, this is your opportunity tonight. So Michael, why don't I turn it over to you now?
For public comment tonight, we need to sign up. Anyone sign up for speak? And while I'm giving a quick overview of the changes and so forth, I know we presented a couple of times. For those who are here, I'd like to go through a bit of what we proposed and make our recommendation. With a lot of due diligence and a lot of time we've spent going through the existing ordinance and the zoning map, we have come to a presentation of what we will recommend tonight going forward. We, in essence, spend a lot of time trying to simplify. The zoning districts have been simplified. R3 was eliminated. C1 and C2 have been combined and converted to CM, which is commercial and mixed use, allowing for commercial and retail uses on the first floor of the structure. And where a second and possible third floor exists, this will allow for residential or offices above. Different levels of waterfront development have been redefined. So in this map, you'll see that from the earlier version, we have R1, R2, we have R3, C1, R1, R2, and ER. In the next map, which we have proposed, this is the original one the Planning Commission proposed. There are three options, or two other options, A and B, that I'll show in a minute for the R2 district. However, CM is shown here, primarily replaces the old C1 and C2, and you can see the waterfront W1 and W2 districts. R1 is essentially the same. So further, in our review, land use classifications have been combined and simplified. Article 4 has been reorganized. Overlay districts simplified, and development standards and development plan requirements were removed or moved to a separate section to apply to certain zoning districts under certain circumstances, and this is relative to Article 6. Article 5 has been reorganized to correspond to changes in Article 3, Some lot sizes, areas, and other measurements were amended to allow for maximum flexibility in lot development for property owners. This applies or pertains primarily to the 25-foot lots, so we're now allowing lot 25 and 50 to be combined and subdivided into two lots.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, I'm in a
Has
meeting.
been simplified. We're going to talk about, and these are the other two options. I'll come back to this in a moment. So parking requirements have been simplified. For a couple of years, we've had no parking requirements for commercial 5,000 square feet and under. For 5,000 square feet and over, we are putting that into the developer's plan. So during part of the review process, we'll determine the parking requirements for each development. And this will also dovetail somewhat with some parking plan efforts that may come in place for the town to provide a parking plan and enforcement plan. Article 6, project reviews and approvals have been modified to include these procedures for site plan preparation, which will include parking. The new approval for development plan and developer agreements have been inserted for certain commercial mixed-use projects. Article, a couple of minor items to note. These are also the ones that were posted on the website. Article 7-801, violation which was a misdemeanor has been changed to a municipal infraction. Article 9 has had some definitions deleted and definitions added, and we did go through those, simplified some things, particularly regarding the multiple restaurant types that were in the previous zoning or in the current zoning. And then Article 10, critical area overlay district requirements have been added. So I want to go back just in the last two presentations from the work session. The revision to R2 maps have been included and have been as the documents as part of public input. I believe next going forward, the council will review this particular piece. However, the planning commission's recommendation is as originally proposed in our first submission. One last point I wanted to point out again is the American Planning Association's CPAT effort that they were here over the summer. Their comprehensive plan is on the right of this image. Dovetails right or corresponds nicely to our plan in terms of the areas and the zones that we implemented. So there is very little that we see going forward that would have to be worked into the comprehensive plan from their recommendations. So with that, anything else? You'd like to add?
No, any further? I would like to move that we go forward with our original recommendations to the town council and close our part of the hearing, and we will make that recommendation to you.
Second nomination.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm sorry, what was that motion? I was probably in there.
Oh,
That's-
sorry.
That we close our portion of the public hearing and go forward with our original recommendations to the town council and our original map
All
recommendation.
right, so you're going to be sending those to the town council in writing, those recommendations?
We can, yes, sir.
Yeah, please do that. Because we have to act after you do that. We should receive those within 30 days. I know we'll receive them alive. And then if you do that, we could possibly act at the next meeting.
Okay.
I said 30 days, it should be 28.
But the record will be held up,
Okay.
because our next meeting is 28 days.
And we meet on the 28th. Planning Commission meets on the 28th, which we can then forward
That'll be
that
Actually, yeah.
Yeah,
of this month.
with a resolution and all that, that's perfect.
Okay.
Stacy, let the record reflect that all of the planning commission members are here tonight.
Bill's not here.
Oh, hey. Thanks. Did you move?
Okay, thank you, Michael. Okay, the floor is open for public comment. I I should tell you all that this is not the first time the council has seen this. There does remain one unresolved issue with the zoning map as far as the council is concerned, and that is the actual footprint of the R2 district. Mike, can you kind of tell us what is being proposed, what would be possible now in the proposed R2 district?
In reference to the maps, the alternate.
Yeah, right there, above your CM.
Yeah, I'm just looking for a,
You want a pointer?
no, I'm trying to get back to my, can you go back to the larger, or the larger map of the proposed? Go back a little farther, more, there. I don't know if anyone can see this, but, so the R2,
That's from up here. Area right here.
It's your chance to feel like.
So this is the proposed, this is the planning commission's recommendation for R2. It encompasses farther up Third Street, wraps up to the, includes the museum and the apartment buildings at Third and Dayton. The east, or the north-south dimension is fairly close to the two alternate or optional R2s. This is, again, our recommended. We're intending, or our intent is to create a buffer zone, a medium density area between the commercial and the R1. Some of it would be relative.
This will all be the single family dwelling up here.
Right, in the R1.
And here's the commercial, and this would be the buffer zone.
Right. So we already have the museum there. Again, I mentioned the apartment buildings. Some of the larger or higher density, medium density projects already exist. But that would be another place for a mixed different economic home types, and really looking for diversity as well as density and offerings in that one or R2. So the next slide, Joanne. This is our original layout. You see the red line there. If you go to one more, please. This is option A. This significantly reduces the R2 to be all on the east side of Dayton, so not above Dayton. These are the apartment buildings I referenced, as well as the museum is here, so that is no longer included in the R2 for this option. Next, option B, please. Option B does reduce it again to the east side of Dayton here, however, still allows for the inclusion of those properties from those parcels to be in the R2 district.
And multifamily dwellings would be permitted
And right.
in this area, right, in the R2. Okay, fine. Thank you, Mike. And the council has not yet come to a final decision on which footprint they favor. So, having heard that, we would certainly welcome any input from the public either this evening or during the period that we're keeping the record open. We certainly will entertain any of your thoughts. Yes, Peter?
I don't have a comment, I have a question. In the extended version of R2, is that accomplished through infill development? It was taken down what's there, and
Is it in this way here?
yes, sir.
Yes, yeah. The
Okay.
potential would be there for an apartment building to replace, say, an old beach cottage.
But I don't want to come about as a result of demolition and reconstruction. Thank you.
Okay, any other public comment? If not, we'll close the public hearing. Thank you all. Thank you, planning commission members. Job well done. And we'll move on to the regularly scheduled meeting of the town council for the evening of January 14th. We'll begin with the pledge to allegiance, and Randy, why don't
Yeah, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No, I didn't remember. And you did.
we'll be up again next month.
I'll stay.
Okay, Stacy, the roll call, please.
Mayor Fraser,
Here.
Mrs. Cheyenne. Here.
Here.
Randy Holmes.
Here.
Mr. Benton.
Here.
Mr. Wilcox and Mr. Neal will not be here.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. We need a motion to approve the minutes from last month's town council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any corrections or additions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Motion to approve the minutes from last week's work session. Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, under our scheduled appointments, we are pleased to have with us, Sally, are you going to recognize the winners?
If I don't, Debbie can.
Deborah, are you going to? Maybe
You're the
jointly?
committee chair.
Let's both go up.
She's the committee chair of that.
Okay, well, why don't you both go, you're the president.
I'm a historian now. Okay, guys, I'm gonna turn, which way should I turn?
Face the other.
I'm gonna face this way, I don't need one, this. This is my crutch, I don't have a microphone, I don't need one, I have a big mouth. Anyway, this was our 15th year we've done this. A lot of cold nights, but a lot of good decorations. I thought this year was beautiful. Anyway, we had 4 judges, Bud Hunt, Donnie Wilkerson, Meadow Wilkerson, and Merle Blair. Anyway, we came to the decision, 3 houses. First place is the Wayne and Teresa Kelly, 3901 7th Street. I don't think anybody's here that wanted, are they? Anyway, I didn't see no eyes. Second place, oh yeah, Lynn Gardner and Peter Davis, First Street. There's second place, right here. That was the house right there on it's like the old-timey house, and decorated old-timey. It looks so pretty. Anyway, third place was 4031 2nd Street, Brian and Bridget Davis. They're right up from Fastbell. Businesses, first place was Chesapeake Bounty, yay! I love that one. Second place is the Wheel Clothing, third place is Darling Beans. She's new in town, she's right on Chesapeake Avenue. And it took a while, she has soaps and candles and stuff like that she makes herself. She's a wonderful lady, she's new in town, so go look at the business, she's wonderful. Anyway, we gave out prizes, they got a whole bag of goodies, all kinds of goodies in it, and they are very happy. I guess, are you happy, Lynn? She's happy.
Show our appreciation to the winner.
Thank you.
And to the North Beach House and Garden Department.
Thank you, Mayor.
Many good things you do for the town of North Beach.
Thank you.
Okay, we have also, under our appointments, an opportunity to recognize representatives from Calvert Meals on Wheels. Bob Robertson, you're the president. Do you have some of your colleagues with you? Bring them all up.
Come on up, guys.
Please, get off the back road there. Bob would be kind enough to introduce me.
He said he's around town every day.
We have Lenore,
Hello, Lenore.
Cheryl, we have David.
They can be recognized.
Okay, these are all members of the board. And we're here to say thank you very much for the check, which I hope we're about to receive.
Well, I'm going to make you tell us a little bit
Okay.
about Calvary to the Meals on Wheels first.
I will be happy to do that.
Yes, we do have a check.
Thank you very much. You probably already know that Calvert Meals on Wheels is an all-volunteer organization, and we do business in part because we have donations, just like the generous donations we're about to get from you guys. And we're going to use your donation this year to basically go out and buy and distribute meals to folks who are homebound, folks who have difficulties preparing their own meals. So I can assure you that the money that we're about to get now is going to do a lot of good for the Calvert County citizens, and it's going to do a lot of good for people who are very, very vulnerable in the county now. So again, we thank you, and I should note, Mr. Mayor, that not only do we have a number of our board members here tonight, but I should also note that we did actually participate in the pledge.
Well, we did.
Yeah, well, maybe just one person. Mr. Mayor, I'm going to try to get the numbers up for next year. Yeah, 100%.
That was good.
For those of you who don't recognize Dave Rano, he's a member of the Fathers and Sons Barbershop Quartet. Has performed every year for the town of North Beach.
In the
When
post
we
office
can
too for a while.
get our request in early enough, at the tree lighting ceremony. They used to be employed at the post office here in
Yeah.
North Beach. Well, congratulations for all the good work you do.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and members of the
North-
council.
North Beach is very happy to contribute. For those of you who might wonder where the proceeds are coming from, these are the net proceeds from our polar bear plunge on January 1st. We get sponsors, and of course there's some costs incurred with the t-shirts and whatnot. But I'm happy, Bob, to present you with a check tonight for $3,000.
Oh, my goodness. This is a terrific night. Thank you very much.
Well deserved.
And thank you all for all that you do. Thank you.
They do a good job. Thank you, thank you. I'm really hungry in Calvert County. We'll make sure of that.
All right, our public's got a safety report. Who's going to give that to me? Sergeant Phelps.
How are you doing this evening? I'll read this report and go over a couple other things. For December 2015, we handled 144 calls for service in North Beach. That's up from 120 from the previous month of November. From December of 2014, there was 154 calls, which was the year prior. Call breakdown, there's 70 were self-initiated, 74 were received by the means. Of those calls, there was 2 CES violation arrests for oxycodone, there was a fatal overdose of heroin, and 2 DUI arrests. And there was no, the month of December, we had no tests or DOTs. Now, we roll over to January, where I guess on the night of January 9th, there was a destruction of property at the Sunrise Park. I was just informed by First Sergeant Alton that we had 2 arrests in that case.
All right.
Good.
All right. All right.
Out and we'll go through the court's process and put together and get some restitution for that. The video cameras will help. We need to work with the video camera company, possibly adjusting it a little bit, but we'll work with them on that.
But these arrests would not have been possible
Without the camera, the clues the camera gave us and the citizens, Facebook and Snapchats and things like that.
Detective Wilkerson and Richard Samir.
They did their due diligence.
Last night, weren't we?
We were all back and forth on the phone.
that's wonderful to hear that team effort resulting in
It worked out well, Mayor, and
a successful conclusion.
I would like to clarify, one was a juvenile who has been charged, the other one he's written a confession and he will be charged. There's a different process for charging an adult, but both of them confessed to it, gave written confession.
Well, congratulations to you all on that very good work. That makes all of us so happy. And we need to get that message out.
Yes,
Absolutely.
That if you do that, you will be apprehended.
yes.
The beginning of January, well, it actually occurred right at end of December, mid-December, beginning of January, we are now up to the 10 deputies. The detective is now here in the beach, so everyone is here working full strength. So we have that all for the year.
Will this information be provided as?
Yes, the cases he works and everything will be, I will have him do a monthly a report of what cases he worked. He's actually, this week, he's actually in training for interviewing and interrogation training. But when he gets any cases he works, we'll definitely include that in the report.
Are you at liberty to tell us anything about the heroin overdose?
I can give you,
Where?
it was over in, I'm almost 100% sure, let me check to make sure. Yeah, it was over, it was over in Burn Oaks. And that's all I have off the top of my head. I don't know for the age of the person.
I want to say he was 28, 29, young man named Marvin O'Dell. Well known in the beach, he played a lot of softball and sports, actually with some of my kids, and he was a father, at least of one child. And yes,
That's very tragic.
yes, sir.
But part of the society that we live in.
It is. He's had an ongoing struggle of trying to get clean, and he's just battling that monster just to get it off his back.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that the Lieutenant Governor's task force will come down with some recommendations that will help us make a dent at least in this problem.
Well, while you're on that subject, I will say that I just want to give you that back. The heroin is a problem. We realize that. And one of our beach deputies, Deputy Fox, he actually had an informant that was informed of somebody that lived in Huntingtown that was bringing heroin into the beach. The deputy took the initiative, he authorized the overtime, he went out and he wrote 7 search warrants on that case. You may have seen it in the paper, it may not have hit the paper yet, it just kind of came to a conclusion here in the past week or so. Did a lot of time up on telephones, GPS on the subject's car, that's going to Annapolis every day and trafficking heroin down here. They got him with two I want to say 19, 20-year-old females coming back from Annapolis, they followed them back. Got over $5,000 worth of heroin that he purchased that night, which who knows what the street value would have been, but did a really good job on that pre-arrest, and that was people trafficking stuff into the beach. So.
Thank you for
That's
sharing
great.
that.
Very good report tonight.
That's great.
Thank you all so much.
That's great.
Dawn, you want to, treasure report, I'm sorry. Joe?
Yes, the reporting period is November 1st through November 30th. The beginning balance was $1,245,000. Total debits was $599,000, and total credits was $1,533,000. Ending balance was $311,000. Investments in MLGIP was $2,536,000. Sewer capital MLGIP is $34,000, and MLGIP water capital is $7,000. Total cash available to the town of North Beach at the end of November was $2,885,000.
Council members, you see the itemization of the receipts and disbursements over 7,500. Do you have any questions of Joanne? Okay, do I have a motion to accept her report? Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carried. Thank you, Joe. Dawn?
Good evening.
Good evening.
See, for the month of December, we worked a little on in December, then, but we're still still working on it now. We're kicking off our weddings by the day. We hope to have some weddings booked and planned for the wedding season 2016. We're still kind of working on the wedding brochure. I'm kind of struggling with pictures and stuff. I wanted to have a wedding, some photos to have in the brochure to show our nice pier, but the reception we had in September was kind of rainy, so those pictures look really good. But I attended and photographed the Light Up the Town event and the holiday parade, and just worked with the events committee and everyone to get things ready for that. Uploaded all those photos to Facebook and shared the news around town Black so people could view those photos from the website. Let's see, we did, back to the end of December, we received word about our Babies League contest. They do an annual contest in the North Beach at Best Bay Beach, Best Town or Neighborhood, and Best Farmers Market. Other winners in town are the Best Mexican Restaurant and Best Margarita was Plaza Mexico. Best Community Event is the Dragon Boat Festival, and Best Romantic Dinner, the West Orange.
Yeah.
Let's hear it from North Beach.
Yeah, that's
Also, hold on, man. We were the #1 Christmas County Magazine.
That's in the state of Maryland.
State of Maryland.
I would
North
like
Beach, #1.
I would like to recognize Christopher Mitchell. He lives in North Beach. I don't know if he's within our incorporated towns or outside, but he's a photographer, a local photographer. He takes beautiful pictures of the town.
Yeah.
He allows me to share them, use them a lot, so.
Yeah.
It was his photo that was on their website, so he does a good job with that. Then we go to the Polar Bear Plunge. There's a lot involved in that. We designed the new t-shirt front every year and get all the sponsorships and pre-registrations that are done on our website, and then the payments through PayPal. We also create personalized certificates for all of the pre-registrations and package up the shirts and sort out the sizes and all that just to get ready for that big day. Again, I was there photographing, and doing some video. We had, was it 345 posers, and covered Meals on Wheels just got the net proceeds for that. I've been working a little bit on the main sign for Sunrise Garden. Right now, the sign company has it, and they're working some things out there. Worked a little bit, we have a then and now storyboard that we're doing, worked a little on that, we need to finalize that probably by the end of this month. We're doing some research on this additional advertising besides print advertising, maybe looking into some TV commercials, things like that. So, they're doing some planning for this season. And then other than that is the daily, calendar entries and website updates and Facebook and all that. For our website hits and downloads, for the month of December, we had 31,767, and on an average day, 1,024 hits. After visiting our homepage, the top 3 pages visited were the special event schedule, the Polar Bear Plunge page, and the Christmas on the Beach information. Which makes sense because, the season for that. The 3 downloads were the online brochure, the feasibility study for the Performing Arts Center, and the Beyond the Boardwalk brochure. That's something I created that shows kind of what to do besides going to the beach and the boardwalk. It includes a little map of the town and the businesses. And then in December, we increased our Facebook list by 38. So by the end of December, we had 6,432. And I have no clue why there was a dip on December 17th. I haven't figured that out yet.
So they unliked it.
What did you say?
They unliked it.
I know they unliked it. I'm wondering why.
Dawn, did you say there are weddings already booked?
We have a couple in works.
A couple in the works?
Yeah.
It's interesting that the zoning ordinance was not downloaded.
I know. If you'd like, I can go back and look to see how many were actually done.
Might not be
If any.
good. That's fine.
If it's a good number, I'll let you know.
Thank you, Dawn. You continue to do a wonderful job.
Hey, Dawn, do you know, and this is probably a loaded question, but how many of the businesses are using backlinks to our stuff to help drive traffic to theirs? I understand a lot, they might not know what that means, but unless you're marketing or something like that, if you are, but do you know if anybody's, I mean, look at the number, I mean, 31,000 hits. I mean, if I was a small business owner and I could backlink to a page that's getting 31,000 hits, I would backlink until you told me to stop doing it.
I don't know that they are. I don't believe they are. Now, some people do utilize our Facebook page.
I know Chesapeake Bounty, I mean, they're really pushing the envelope on a lot of different things, marketing wise, they're open 7 days, they're open late, open early, I mean, they're really tapping into what we do. I would like to find out, I don't know how we can find out, but that could be huge free marketing. I know they're on our Facebook page, I know they're on our website, I know there's links to our website, but they could do stuff on their side to tap into 31,000 hits for free.
Yeah.
You mean just linking to the Facebook page?
It's called a backlink to a website. You know, but-
I can look into it and see if I can find
Just-
that out.
Yeah, maybe we can shoot email to them, hey, guys,
I mean,
Put our website on yours,
all
and
the
you're
top
really good.
businesses, they're on, there's links to their sites on our site, so. I
or are
can
we
look
on
at it.
theirs?
I know, yeah.
That's where the money comes.
Yeah.
All right, be interesting.
I kind of, just from looking at the sites, I don't want to say I kind of doubt it, but, you know, I think the ones that use those types of things, they use Facebook more. They do.
Good, all right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Any other questions, Dawn? Okay, Donnie?
Something that's not in my report, I'd like to just say first is, Detective Walker to be proud of me. Like father, like daughter. Hey, son. Like dad, I know you'd be proud. Retired and had to do. But, and also, I'd like to report, we did do a cleanup on the park today, and most of the graffiti and damage that was done was able to be cleaned up without a real major, the mermaids were taken by sculpture to get cleaned up and should be replaced in a week. So she put that in, was going to do that. So and the rest of the damage went in zero today.
Ron, is there any chance we can get restitution from these people for expenses?
Absolutely, that's probably what you will hope for when this thing does go to court, is to get restitution out of it. They were charged, I think, Don, you said it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,500 to.
$1,800.
$1,500, $1,800, so the final tab would be, one of them had to be sent out for specialty cleaning, so that's what we go for in court restitution, and we'll place a value on it in the report. They were charged, both parties were charged with felonious destruction of property, which was over 1,000.
First item I have in my report is Public Works has been spending a pretty good deal of time this month working with the town engineer and staff on the Cape Avenue sidewalk project and paving project. After last week's work session, with recommendations from the mayor and council, we went back and we've actually taken a better look at some of the stuff that, not the actual paving and sidewalk, but all the related utility work that might be associated with that. So I think John on the business items later is going to be detailed information on that, but we need to go back and look at everything closer. Water, sewer, service connections, we have parking, traffic safety. Like I said, John, in his report has that, but also take you look over the business item part of that. Second thing here, I'm happy to report environmental concerns is our contractor for the floodlight project is fully mobilized on site and has been proceeding with work related to the contractor, making pretty good progress. What they did in the first part, they stabilized, they made it 3 entrances and stabilized to have access to the dike, 3 different areas that we were granted easements for. They put those access points in, and then now they've taken sand or new material and they put all the way around the perimeter of the dike. So when they go to build the dike, they actually can sit on the hard surface, harder surface of what was there to actually create that dike. Next, what we're going to do is do a 50-foot test section. Probably start on that Monday next week. We're going to bring in some material. We're going to put it in the marsh there where the berm's going to be built. And we're going to actually do compaction tests to see what happens when we add that to that area to see what, we have We have CDT on call, who's a soil biotech guy. He's gonna come down and inspection, action test as we're working on the test sets. And we want to do that just to see, get a feel, but we know the salt there, we don't know how salt. So we're gonna do that, and it changes, every 25, 30 feet, 50 feet, we might have, real hard bottom, real soft bottom, it does change all around it. So that'll be happening next week. And I'll keep you posted on that. DPW address, we've got an email from the citizen, Mr. Chase, who lives at 4000 4th Street. Emailed the mayor about a problem with stormwater in his area, in his yard. And under the mayor's direction, we went out to take a look at that area and that problem. When we went out, we found that we did have a storm drain pipe that's pretty close to that address, and we came up with a pretty quick, easy solution. Not quick and easy, but we did come up with a solution to address that problem. The mayor said go ahead with the work. What we did, we put about 60 feet of pipe in, tied into existing storm drain that was in the middle of the alley there, between 4th and 5th. And when we were doing that work, we hit an underground spring, which we kind of thought was there. It was there, we hit that spring, and we were able to divert that water into the storm drain. So now, after doing that, we noticed after 3 or 4 days that the yards, there's 4 yards actually in that block, and they actually, you can see them drying up, so it didn't make very good progress.
Does that affect all the way down to the corner?
I think it
Yeah,
will.
that we put in the driveway for?
Right, I think it will. What was happening was the spring was actually getting dammed up there on the west side. When we broke that free, it looked almost like a water main break. We got that into the storm drain system, but what was happening, the water was coming to the top of it instead of going, traveling in the spring like it was just flooding the yards there. So once we did that, I think the water run across all those yards heading east. So now that we had the opportunity to go across all the yards, we've got to get it to the system, get it to the storm drain system. So pretty confident that's not a good problem. Ninth Street area experienced flooding down early Sunday morning. I can call about 3:30 in the morning. That's when high tide was Sunday morning. Pretty unusual for this time of year to have a tide that high, but we had warm temperatures, everybody knows, and we did have wind gusts, and it was coming from the east of about 40 miles an hour at a time instead of that. So I think that was the main problem with that. We had a few calls that the pumps were running. Pumps down there at Ninth Street stormwater station did run 14 hours, but with the tide that high and winds coming in, the pumps were saying keep up with that amount of water. So, good experience.
Want to give us an update on the flood?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Flood signs?
Yeah, the flood signs that we talked about a couple council meetings ago had an order. I placed the order. I did put a call in last Friday morning to the vendor because I had not heard from him. That was the second call. He seems to be keeping me posted what's happening with him. I was pretty sale I thought for him, but I'm kind of disappointed I hadn't heard back from him. That was a gentleman, John Herbert, that came in and gave the presentation at the meeting. So I'm still waiting on a call from him. I expect hear something from them tomorrow. And then, as soon as we get in that, I don't think it'll be a lengthy time. Install will be a couple days. But yeah, then we're just waiting for the
He hasn't been paid in.
No, he hasn't been paid, so.
Two things. I know we're going to talk about the sidewalk, and I know we're going to talk about Overland Park, but 2 areas I'd like to address real quick before because even as this is about those kind of throughout the town, I'm finding more and more trip hazards on sidewalks. It could be sidewalks moving from the old trees that roots are pushing them up. I know we talked in the past, but what is the plan? I know we're adding a new sidewalk, or we're talking about a new sidewalk in Dayton, but what about the existing sidewalks? Is there a plan to start fixing those trip hazards?
Yeah, we do have, and we've had probably the last 2 or 3 months, we've had 6 or so sewer cleanouts that have been sidewalks, so we actually picked concrete up. But they did clean out in and cement the sidewalk. I've been on our concrete contractor for probably 2 months as a mayor, to try to get them up here. We had a total of 11 patches. They were pretty small in size. Unfortunately, we have a Enterprise, contractor. Unfortunately for him, he was working on jobs out of town, had some big contracts, and he was busy and didn't get here. He promised me to be here this Tuesday and Wednesday to take care of those issues because we do have some that have been, a couple months old at least now. I have to get them prepared. We are sure hazard. We have some places where, 4 or 5 sections missing. So we've had cones there, it's been a couple months now. I'm kind of at the mercy of him, but if he doesn't show up this week, coming week, we are going to go out and find another contract, another source, to get the work complete.
But, I mean, there aren't many companies, concrete companies that will do little jobs like that. We're just not interested.
And also, we've had, our contractor that we do that when he shows up, he does a great job. You don't have to stand there, you don't have to worry about it, and he's been very fair on pricing. That's why I hate to switch now, everything has to learning curve with new contractor, but, he has got like Tractor Supplies and some of the bigger chain restaurants, he's got contract to do all those within the area, and he's been working on that. He was working in Frederick, and he's working in Truckville, Virginia, so he's been working in, and he has 2 crews. He kind of explained to me he didn't want to hire a whole other crew, and then have to lay the whole crew off, so I've kind of been patient because it's been, he's worked some fairs and did a good job every time he does show up, so.
This is Atlas Concrete, they do excellent work.
Yeah, they're out of Leonardtown, the same ones that did the park, Sunrise
They did a
Garden.
beautiful job in Sunrise Garden.
We're
We're just we're optimistic that the job on Dayton Avenue will get them into town.
Right.
And do these other odd jobs.
He actually shot me a text tonight, said he'd be here Tuesday or Wednesday next week, but I'm just hoping that he does follow through with the
Right.
weather.
But mainly with the areas you're looking at is the ones that you've torn up, and that's the same reason why we're gonna have this discussion about Dayton. We wanna make sure we don't have to do that once we put the new sidewalk down.
Right.
But what about like the areas where there used to be trees, there's no longer trees, there's water, there's sewer line wells have come up, I mean, that's what I'm talking about, not just where you ripped it out and put a new flatbed. No, that's fine, but
Atlas Contract has, like on Atlantic Avenue, we had probably 6 places where they had a tree well. They came in and actually ripped that metal curb and attached those also. But others, this week, maybe tomorrow, and you get it here on Tuesday, go around and try to get a complete list. So when they are here, we'll get them to fix everything that, correct,
And the last thing, again, I know we're gonna talk about Overlook Park in a minute, but I really would, besides the cameras, which is gonna be in our conversation tonight, my thoughts are if we could add 2 motion lights on each of those gazebos,
Right.
that we can prevent it. The cameras work great to find them after they have already destroyed it. But if we can put also a light there, it might prevent them from doing it from the first place. So I don't know if that's looked into or not, but I just want to throw it out there, that might be another option.
An easy option.
So secluded over there, I walk by there, so definitely. You can sit in the gazebo at night and nobody will ever know you're there.
Yeah, they're an easy option. Let me get out there, and I'm sure it'll help. They can be done.
I'll just look into that.
We're looking at that, and, low cost, and that'd be a very simple thing to do. I don't know if it's in the camera proposal, sure, I did look at it quickly, but we're planning on putting a camera right at the boardwalk there, where it comes from, Vernon, across the watershed. So we have catch anybody to after from there, and to the north, like, so that'll be after the fact. We did get the round replaced, for anyone who's been out over the park. We did go with the black round, which I thought turned out really nicely, but also the more, hopefully, since they're not, and get some restitution for that also to make it last.
All right, thank you, Don. Any other questions, Don? Thank you, Don. John?
Good evening. I have a written report before you. I'll go over the items that, where there's some significant activity report. Don gave a very comprehensive report on the flood date, and I think we'll all be interested to see next week when you build that first sample section. We'll actually get to see what the thing's going to look like. Dayton Avenue is a business item, which there's a memorandum in your packet. We'll cover that when we get to it. Talk to State Highway Administration. They are still in trying to prepare a response to the town's request for a higher elevation, the walkway system on the west side, and better improvements to the culverts. We're told that response to those items is elevated to the Secretary's office, and a letter should be forthcoming to the town from the Secretary shortly.
Well, let me inject here at this point that just today we have an ally in our effort here. That's the President of the Senate. I received a copy of a letter that he addressed to Secretary Ron about this very issue and how important it was to him. So I'm hopeful that will spur the State Highway Administration to take it seriously.
Good, excellent. Transient application for the permit to do the dredging and transient made it measure the threshold last week, and the state put it out on public notice. That tells me this MDE is ready to approve it. They have to go through the public notice period, which is probably another 30 days or so. We're thinking that we might be in a position to bid that work in February, and maybe have a permit by March, and maybe we'll be able to do that before the winter months are over. I'm also working with town staff teams on the RFP for the PAC consultant and the streetscape consultant on the plan for the streetscape, tree well improvements and the entrance sign. We will have a draft for that procurement ready for advertising probably in about next week, 10 days.
Any questions of John? Great, thank you, John. Okay, I didn't see your code enforcement report.
He's been out sick all week.
I'm sorry to hear that. I meet with, Rick attends the staff meetings on Tuesday morning, so I get reports from him, so he is doing his job and doing it very well. Okay. Before we take up the business items, now is the opportunity for any public comment. We're going to be dealing with, okay, Deborah?
I just want to, on behalf of the Garden Club, let everyone know that we started hosting monthly speaker series at our meetings. They're 7 o'clock the second Tuesday of the month, and the first two that we had before the beginning of the year, kind of wanted to test the process first, and then starting this month, we opened it up to the public, and we're able to get it advertised, and we'll continue to do that. But it's the same, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Garden Smarter speaker series that the Calvert County Master Gardeners sponsor, and most of the talks are at the Prince Edward Library. Well, it's the same speakers that we're able to get here, and so they come and speak to our group, and as I said, we start with the presentation, and then those that want to leave that aren't Garden Club members can leave, and we have our business meeting. But we actually got 3 people from that quick email that was sent out for this past, we just sent it out on Monday and 3 came Tuesday. So hopefully if we advertise more, we'll get more speakers. But I just want to encourage everyone to attend. And the next, for February, it's going to be Bill Sutliff that speaks on building an herb spiral. And then on March, it'll be Melanie Crowder, who lives in Chesapeake Beach, and she's going to speak about the Baywise certification program, which we have gotten ourselves garden certified, and hoping as many possible, residents would be interested in pursuing that for their yards. The more the better for the town to get that. So that's for March.
And we are striving to get our Sunrise Garden certified as a
Right.
Baywise, and a little ceremony in the late spring.
Right, and I think that would be great to tie right in with this talk, that to show, set the example, of getting the Sunrise Park certified, and then hopefully more residents will as well.
And those meetings are here
Yes, they are.
in the council chamber.
me the information on each month, the topic?
Yeah, I sure will, I sure will. I did the government call the other day, and talked to Stacy, and she was, I stuff it out, but yeah, I'd love to do that.
When you get
Be
the
proactive on
information,
that.
just send it over and I'll put it on our calendar and
Perfect.
send out the blast.
Okay, great, thanks.
Mel, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I have a question kind of for Donnie. I think I've talked to you about this before, that there's water coming down Third Street all the time, and I know it's coming from county property. Is there any way to get the county to do anything about it? Because again, my mail fell out of the car into the gutter, and it's just wet.
Actually, I'm meeting with Mark Mister, who works for the county, and they're doing a similar project tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, to meet him. And they're doing Fifth Street, improving the Fifth Street, and I mentioned that to him, I'm taking him over there, showing him that. Seems to be another maybe spring type situation where some pump is pumping that water out from a house,
It's
like you said, it's west of
It's
town.
almost all the time.
Right, it seems like it runs constant.
Yeah, it's very rare that it's
Right.
dried up.
Right.
And of course, with the water running, the temperature dropping,
It's
it's
been that way
freezing.
for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's it.
Maybe
It's been there since I've been here, but I'm not really what other is.
You got that whole mountain draining up. You'll never stop that water.
There used to be an open culvert there.
Well, this one is over, at least it gets out to the ditch line on the county side, and it runs down Third Street into the, when we're on this curve line, but it just constantly on there.
Hey, look, we're at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, that's the same problem we had at Fulton area, that's those spots, and, where we happened to lose the water drive.
All right, any other public comment? Is that you, Jay?
Yes.
Good
I got a question. Where are you gonna put the 50-foot sample of what you're doing with your,
Right in front of your lot, actually, you know where the first access point where the mats and all, where we come straight out there, so it'd be at the south of that berm, where the red flags, and the only reason I say it is because you did that and you saw it, but just the south section coming off of Ninth Street right there, straight in kind of.
okay,
We're gonna start there and head west towards 261.
okay. All right. The other thing is, I think back in September, October, I asked a question about how we could get a notification to the people in the flood zone area through the county. And I think somebody told me that that was gonna be worked on in like November, December, January or something. Yes.
I did. I did tell you that. We've signed, submitted to the county an agreement. We're just waiting to hear back from their attorney. It's a software agreement and a use agreement between us. The mayor has signed it. We're waiting for the county commissioners to approve. Once they do that, then we'll get our training. And once we get they schedule our training, we're at the mercy of the county right now. Then we can act on the system. Right now, we're just waiting for them to reciprocate the information that we've already submitted.
Okay, because it would certainly be informative to know if the dike does or doesn't work.
It's real strange, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but usually get coastal flood warning, those type of things, even on the local weather channel. I didn't even see one for Sunday that came on.
It did come through, but that means you
Yeah.
gotta look for it, whereas this is
Yeah,
a
right.
phone call you get from the county to your personal phone.
Yeah, I
If
agree.
there's a weather event, they'll call you.
Yeah, I agree with you, I said, that was kind of unusual for this time of year.
But I'm-
Right.
The other thing is, I was wondering if there is a policy for things that are being removed from the benches that people have purchased down on the boardwalk? Of when things will be removed, how long it can be there, when you can put them up, when you can't. Some personal things were taken off one of the benches with personalized decorations on it. It was a custom-built wreath for the bench, and it's gone.
They're at the, I'm sorry to speak out of turn, but Richard usually leaves them 7 to 10 days at the most. And those items that we're able to keep are at the town hall waiting for individuals to pick them up,
If they're of value.
if they're of value to him, to them.
This wasn't value, it was a wreath that was built small enough that it would fit on the bench very well, and had personalized decorations
Well,
on it.
when you
And
go
it's not it.
downstairs,
It's not, it, I know that.
Okay, that's all we have that was down there, that they've gotten off, that wasn't flowers or cards or something like that.
There's two things, one thing was here, one thing was thrown in the trash, is what I understand.
Oh, I don't know that, I'd have to ask Richard, I don't know.
Yeah, Jay, you need to speak with Richard Ball.
Okay, how do I get in touch with them?
Come
Yeah,
here.
and there's a
Do
policy
you have a
subject.
phone number, we can have him call you?
You want me to call you?
You give us your phone number after the,
Okay, that's fine.
okay?
We have Jay's phone number.
Okay, then we'll have him call you.
Okay.
I
Is there a policy on, you know, what can be put
Well,
on?
the policy
We-
isn't-
We left them there 21 days because my granddaughter it was her bench. She was 2.5 years old, and we leave it there until the 21st of January, the wreath, and change it out for flowers, which was the day she passed. It's been that way for 5 years, and it disappeared this year.
Well, that's a special case, Jay. Most of them are not like that. And we get, you know, balloons and plastic flowers and things of not any particular value that have to be removed after a period of time. But if you have a program and you're making wreaths, we can certainly make, you know, an exception to that, and you just need to communicate that to Richard Ball. He's the one that's responsible for policing the benches.
All right.
Any other public comment? Okay, we have 3 business items. The first is the question of enhancing the security cameras at the Overlook Park. Several years ago, we had Strand Security install cameras there. After we created the park down there, put the gazebos and built the boardwalk, we've had some vandalism down there, and the cameras, although they can identify the number of people and maybe the sex, that's about it. It's not of the quality that enabled us to apprehend the most recent suspects in the Sunrise Garden. So in order to make those useful, in other words, we received bids from 2 companies to make those more usable, bring them up to the quality of those that we have in Sunrise Garden. One is from the company that installed them initially, and the other is from Boss, who did the installation, Lou Bodmer and George Owens, in Sunrise Garden. You see the estimates for those 2 projects. One from Strand to enhance their system is a little over $6,000. One from Boss is a little over $10,000. You need to do something. It's really kind of pointless to have it the way it is, and because it's been so successful now, I think we want to do this also in addition to the motion detectors down there. My feeling is that this is Strand's system. Their bid for enhancing it is less than Boss's. I don't know whether Boss would replace it or just what. Let's have some discussion on that. How do you all feel?
Well, is the replacement or the upgrading one, does that give us the equivalent of what Boss is proposing? Are they equivalent at that point?
I can't interpret this.
I know, me neither. That's
Well,
why-
Donnie talked to both of them or whatever, and the equipment is pretty much the same, apples for apples. Strand was a company we dealt with from day one since I was here, I guess, probably 10 years ago. And they provided a system back then. The problem with their system is the current one is nighttime. You can't see anything at night. Now, technology's improved over the last periods of years. And we see that with the cameras that we have there, that all supplied for Sunrise Garden. That quote is the same type of cameras from both vendors. Same, you know, and with the main thing is they have to also replace the receiver that receives the information. And both of those have the same, almost exact same equipment for the receiver. One of them's based out of South Carolina, although it does have service techs up here. I don't know whether it's just a South Carolina wage difference, you know, if that's what the price is. You can get somebody come up there cheaper and work and put it in. But it's pretty much the same system, apples for apples, you know, after looking at it.
And being able to look at it remotely, like all the
Yeah,
features,
same exact,
so
right.
so
Right,
we
same thing
basically
I
have
have.
the same system.
Right, we'll be able to pull it up on a laptop, we'll be able to pull it up on a smartphone, look at it from home, picture frame, the images, when it's happening, can show you whether how you can, freeze frames, take a picture. That's what we provided to the sheriff's office.
So there's nothing on the boss one that is over and above.
Not from looking at it, like the mayor said, I don't understand word for word, but looking at it, pretty straightforward. I think they're about the same type system. Apples to apples, pretty close to it. Like I said, we're adding a couple cameras. We will get with the sheriff's department before we place them to make sure that we have them in the exact spots that they think we might need them, because that, we relied on one source for the Sunrise Gardens, and we need to get the sheriff's department involved in placement of these cameras to make sure.
Donnie, if I could ask you a question, I haven't been around here long enough to know the responsiveness of the other security companies that you have. How have they been over the years as far as responding out? Because I know that Boss was very responsive in this, to come out here and do some enhancement features and show us how to zoom and do things. He actually took the time to come down pretty quickly. And how responsive has the other company been?
I was impressed with Balls myself, how quickly responded to Sunrise Gardens. Strange, if I call them with a problem with anything we have at the public workshop now. He does have a tech that actually lives right at Chesapeake Beach area. He works for another company full-time, but he does be there by 3 o'clock that afternoon if something we need. Like, we had smoke detectors go bad, for instance, in the building, but the next day, have them replaced. I'm sure he emailed us saying he still has 40% of his clients are in Maryland, even though he's based out of South Carolina. He does have one service tech guy that lives in Chesapeake Beach, and he has another more technical guy that's in Maryland. I'm not exactly sure where he lives at. We haven't had to call him in to look at the actual, video, have him come sit with us and do that, so I don't know how responsive I think if you do.
That would be my only question. The customer service end of it, I think was outstanding, and I haven't had a chance to see that on the other end of it. So I would say that's worth something too, and it was priceless in this case here, so
I think
that would be my 2 cents worth.
And I think if they were like within, $500 or so, we could save it. It's quite a bit of difference in price. So that's what I think was strange. But
Yeah, we'd have some extra money to buy some motion.
yeah, we could do that. Also do that.
Vicki, do you understand any of the language?
Did you ask them how long they think we'd be able to get on 4 terabytes, like how much we can keep saving?
I have no idea what that means.
So my only
I know
thing
it's
would be.
24 hours, 7 days.
With the Strand, is to actually get that additional 4 terabyte hard drive. That would give us 8 terabytes, which would be comparable with Boss.
That's the cloud storage, but physical.
Yeah, actually, it's a hard drive in the NVR. And the way those work is you can do them different ways. You can have it record on the one and also have it back record on the other, and you just have it just run and record the whole time. And the size allows you for how long you can keep it in there. I know it worked with like 32 cameras, and we're running like 8 terabytes, and that's about a month of storage.
I'm pretty sure ours now can store for 24 days or something like that.
Yeah, so it's-
Then it starts skipping over.
Yeah, it starts rewriting.
It'll start rewriting. 25th, it'll start rewriting.
But I would say getting that extra 4 terabyte would be useful, especially if we get down to realize we want to add cameras. Those systems can add cameras, when you add cameras, you're changing the memory and the recording. But yeah, no, I think Strand would be the way to go with your system. Yeah, and it is a lot cheaper.
What I noticed, listening to Mickey, obviously one says 4, one says 8. I mean, I understand what he's saying with that. There's an optional part that he didn't price in here in the total price, and that is the additional optional 4 terabyte. Because right now, we are not apples to apples.
But he gave the rate there.
Right, 268.
Yeah.
It's $268, right?
Yeah.
So the price will go up $268.
Still,
It's still our part. It's pretty, that's what I say, it's not like it's.
Well, let's do this, but let's get the additional terabyte, 4 terabytes. Do I have a motion?
I move to accept the Strand bid with the addition of the extra 4 terabyte hard drive.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Donnie, you contact. Okay, Following the work session last week, we directed staff to come back with some revised numbers that would include blacktopping the entire section of Dayton Avenue from 5th to 7th, in addition to the other work that had been projected. And I also asked Joanne to find out in our budget how much money is available for this particular project. So, John, you want to tell us what you discovered since last week?
Sure. After the meeting last week, we made three changes to the design program and the cost estimate. One is we added milling of the total width of the travel lane. Travel lane on Dayton Avenue is 22 feet. That's enough for two 11-foot lanes. So we put enough, we now have enough milling in the estimate to mill that and then to overlay that and take care of any pavement deficiencies. I went out and measured all the cross slopes. Some places the cross slope's good, but there are many places where the cross slope is less than the optimum 4 inch per foot. So with the milling and the extra asphalt overlay, we can get that, that item will be corrected. We added paving on the east shoulder for drainage and to better accommodate the cars that park on the east side. And then Donnie got a price, and there are 8 water services in that block. So we now included a budget digging up each of those saddles. The saddle is where the service line comes from the house over to the main water line. The saddle is the piece that goes around the water line where the connects to it. And then it has bolts on it, clamps onto the water main. Those bolts are what are corroding away. That's why we expect, we're having some problems, we expect more problems. But so we will replace those saddles with all stainless steel hardware, and so we won't have a problem with those in the foreseeable future. But those 3 items increase the cost of the project to $113,000. That would be the full range of improvements from 5th Street to 7th Street.
What was their cost?
It was 72.
Another 40,000. 72 was,
50.
that $72,000 price was only milling 5 feet out from the new sidewalk and paving that, they didn't include around the road, this is one way issue. We kind of went back to the real close look, like John said, sewer service system, we didn't have to worry about sewer cleanouts coming up the sidewalk and breaking the sidewalk up. And I gave John a price that I got from the contractor, just a rough, ballpark price, but Public Works will probably do one up doing that type of work for the saddles and the sewer repair. We also looked at some trench drain, which will provide a lot better drainage at those 2 alleys. It's a drain that goes across the width of those 2 alleys. All the water from 6th Street will head towards 5th Street. And then, in that alley comes down in the west and east between 5th and 6th Street. A lot of water comes down that alley. We have a trench drain now that's designed to catch all the water from 6th Street to the alley, mid-block of 7th. Mid-block of 7th, we're going to catch the water coming from 7th and 6th. We also have a trench drain designed for that area there. That'll take the Foster River and then down towards the big system that Mr. Russo put in for his professional building. So kind of went back to the real close, as I say, we looked at everything we could have. We don't want to take a sidewalk up the whole day enough to redo this. Once we do this.
Yeah, I think the council wants this to be done properly, not have to go back there, so we can move on to something else next year.
This will be like a sample of sidewalks and paving projects to come. We did, some nice projects, 7th Street and all, but we did have a few areas where the yard was lower, caught a little bit of stormwater from maybe gutters or something like that. We also looked at those addressing the road packages, where the gutter will come through the curb and get into the curb line and go along with the rest of the water. If you look at the curb on the east side, because when you have with a 0.5% fall, I guess, from Sixth Street to Fifth Street. I think we're gonna curve on the east side, may help with the paving, we can do concrete a lot better, you know, for grade wise, and then you can pave the concrete and make that grade work, since it's so tight of grade there. If you just try to pave with asphalt on, it's hard to pave with asphalt for that. It's important, it's critical that you get the water from Sixth to Fifth and around Fourth, down Fifth Street.
So your estimate here of 113, that's based on your, the unit prices for the asphalt and the
Yes.
concrete, or unit price contract.
Yes.
Your best calculation of the number of square feet involved.
That's correct. And that adds with some wedging and, you know, different, and we kind of made sure that estimate, that might be, I don't want to say high, give you a false sense, but it's on the plus side of it.
Well, we know it's your best,
But it's a guess, best estimate, right?
And there is a contingency at the end, bottom line, we did put a contingency on it.
Right.
and Joe, how much do we have in the budget for this project?
You have 120,000 in your budget, you spent 5 already, so 115.
And how about that? That just worked out that way.
Right.
Do I have a motion from the council?
So moved that we go forward with this resurfacing and sidewalk project.
As presented tonight.
As presented.
Is there a second? Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Donnie, you and John take. All right, we put in our budget for this year, 2016, funds for a new website for North Beach. Dawn, you want to tell us a little bit about what you want us to go, how you want us to go from here?
Well, our current site is basic, I guess, and I've dressed it up and accessorized as I could. And we are limited, there's some things that we want to do and we can't with our current site. So, some things are hard to find. I find sometimes people come to me and say, I want this on the home page, it needs to be accessible, and there's only so many spaces to put things, and sometimes it's stand up. It just needs to be more streamlined, things need to be easier to find. So we're looking to have a website redesign. And I also think like we have a lot of good things going on around town and exciting things, and then even I go to our website and it's kind of like, wow. So anyway,
Really?
yeah. Do you think that?
I don't use, I'm sorry.
Well, I look at other towns and,
Yes.
and there are better sites and there are some that are not better, in my opinion. But
Could be better.
we can do much better.
You talked about improving ours or getting a whole new website.
Whole new website.
Just
Yeah.
asking.
I think we've improved as much as we can with what we have.
So you know what you're looking for.
I have ideas. I have some listed here. But then I'd like to see what, the people that submit proposals, what they have to say, and they have
Sure.
better ideas.
Joe, how, you have available there, how much you put in?
17.5.
17.5. Well, can you write the request?
Stacy and I are working on that. She contacted MML and we got some examples. And then I contacted Chestertown because they've recently redesigned theirs. And I like their setup. So she sent the RFP over. So we're going to go through and piece together an RFP to present and go from there. But I just think our site needs to be easier to use. The social media is big. It needs to kind of match with the social media platforms. And maybe make it easier to do that rather than when sometimes I update the website, and I update Facebook, and then there's Twitter, and then we have an Instagram account that I really don't do a whole lot with, because once I get done with everything else, there's a lot of repetitiveness, and I just would rather do it once and go out to.
Okay, so, Zari, we instruct Dawn and Stacy to go ahead and prepare that request for a new website?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And if you guys have any sites that you like, or that we can, take a look at, or any suggestions, let me know. And, we'll work on that.
Okay, we have no ordinances or resolutions. Mickey, you want to start with your council report?
I would just like to thank everybody who participated in the polar bear. I was there. And I joined me in the plunging. The mayor and my father watched from a nice long dry area. It was a lot of fun. I look forward to that event every year. We had an event meeting and we have a good plan for this year coming up. And I think that's, there is a Pirates of the Chesapeake speech presentation lecture here on January 24th at 2 p.m. Run by the Baker Street Museum. So everybody will come out for.
Those are excellent presentations. Excellent.
Well,
I certainly will be here for that.
Nothing special to report tonight, just great to see everybody and see you back here next month.
A couple things. It's cold outside. Check on your neighbors. Check on your neighbors. Yeah, definitely check on your neighbors. I know we have a lot of public service announcements going out. Check your crawl spaces, make sure they're closed. But we still have a lot of old cottages in the beach. So please check on your neighbors. Check on your neighbors. Second of all, keep sharing. When the picture went out about the individuals that did the destruction, it was shared all over social media quickly. So please share the post for this North Beach stuff, Facebook, the websites and so forth, because it really does get a lot of attention out there. I mean, there's a reason why there's 31,000 hits on the website. And please keep sharing it. The third thing is, we've had a saying when it comes to Neighborhood Watch, see something, say something. Linda Kearns is in the back. If you have not signed up to receive her email, you are missing a lot of great information. She's on top of it. She's communicating. She's has done an amazing job with the Neighborhood Watch newsletter. She created it. She runs it. She does everything. So please get with her. Make sure your email address is given to her, because you can then know what's going on in our neighborhood. So other than that, thank you for coming.
Randy?
Again, thank you all for coming. I did have one question. Did we go recycling straightened out?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it was that issue. And just remind everybody, apparently hurricane season starts in January now. So make your preparations appropriately and stay warm. Now, for those of you who don't know, there's a hurricane that formed off the Azores last night, Hurricane Alex, the first of the 2016 season.
Really?
The first one to form in January since 1938 or something. 55, I thought it was 38, so yeah. Hurricane season starts after Christmas now. Let's get that dike built, Jay.
Last week, I attended the meeting of the Southern Maryland Municipal Association in the city of Annapolis. Those of you who don't know, Annapolis is in the Southern Maryland region. And the presentation was on the effect that climate change is having on the city of Annapolis, and the increased frequency and intensity of flooding that Annapolis is having as sea levels rise. And they have a person on staff, of course they have a very big staff, who's dedicated solely to this issue. She gave a wonderful presentation, and I have told her that I'm going to invite her down to make that presentation to us. And we are in the very same boat, so to speak, in terms of being a coastal town. And we can see, just like Sunday, we don't usually get tides like that. So, all this has to do with your preparations and your, having your hazard mitigation plan. And we need to take that seriously, folks, because this is happening. We're vulnerable because of where we are, and it's something that not just this administration, but certainly future administrations are going to have to deal with more seriously than we do. So you'll be hearing more about this, and I'm not sure whether she'll come in February or March, but I'll work that out with her. Okay, thank you all for coming out. Deputies, thanks for a wonderful job on that. That just makes us all feel so much better. With that, I'll ask for a motion to call.
Oh, we already had that. I neglected in my report, just with the weather forecast coming up next week, we'd like to say, well, not on wood for the weather for this winter, but riding around this week, I noticed probably 20 hoses that were still connected to the houses for the hose goods this coming week. I'm sure that it was a pretty close to the problem, the hose is going to freeze, and that's going to go back in the house, but just by riding around having to look. You know, Dawn did send out an email blast last week, I might put it in tomorrow. Send out a blast to remind people that call statement and hoses is ahead. And if you do forget, I forgot to tell myself, but it's important that I'm looking at it.
Thank you, Brian. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all. Good night.